Yo, welcome to my channel, Greg CD channel. I'm Greg Dijaya. Right now I am at the Griot's garage in Tacoma, and check it out behind me. It is the 1938 MG TA Special. Alright, hey, don't forget to like, comment, and then subscribe my channel. Alright, really appreciate it. Let's check out the car. Woo!
Morris cars.
And then eventually did their own spin-off. But they were always under Morris, which was a disadvantage because Morris didn't like racing. The whole brand was about racing. And so,
about racing, yeah.
So you can't help but go fast.
William Morris was always putting the kibosh on their special projects, but they still managed to make some really neat stuff.
Right.
Looks good here.
So that's a 38 chassis with a body built to 34 dimensions, and it's a brand new body.
Obviously street legal.
Yeah, just barely.
You have a top in the trunk somewhere or something?
No top, no windows,
so
no
windows.
You take your chances with the weather?
Yeah. I came last Saturday and got pretty wet. I learned the hard way that if your mouth is open and you turn through a puddle, you're getting you're getting hydrated whether you want to or not. Sure. So, but I still enjoyed it. I built it to handle that kind of condition. There's gaps in the weather seal, so if it does get wet, it can drain out.
That's good. You thought it through.
But it's built to be a race car, so you can't have the creature comforts of a road car.
Yeah.
It rattles. It's noisy. You can see a lot of
that's part of the ambiance.
A lot of the chassis fittings are double nutted because it shakes itself apart if you don't. So I use a jam nut on those.
Why this car? Why don't you get something like
a Miata?
This is classic.
I have newer cars, but I wanted to recreate the 1930s pre-war racing experience, and this is the best way I could do it. I couldn't.
Yeah,
they built 8 of the original Q-type race cars in 1934, and they never come up for sale, and I can't afford one anyway. There was one that sold in Australia for over $300,000.
I have an SSR, and I can't afford that. I have to park her most of the time. But so I decided to build one myself. And
all right. Well,
I enjoy the
process. So that's.
What do you do? What are your?
I used to work at Weyerhaeuser Research and Development.
The engine is 1,328 cc. Oh my gosh!
There were a lot of guys that were into pre-war.
1.3 liters. And then the power is 110 horsepower. Awesome. This is an old race car, MG TA Special. Awesome.
Sure, yeah.
This is great.
Oh, really? Yeah, I didn't need to fly it over. Yeah, I think 7:30 is the latest you can get here usually and get a spot here. I was lucky that the lot was full and then I'm going to look for a spot. And because I knew I had a narrow car and there was a corner here and a Volvo wagon. I was like, I can fit it. Built these is also because I want people to see that this is stuff that you can do, and most of these are locked up in museums and you'll never hear them run or never see them move.
Right.
And so I thought, well, if I've got the means, I'm going to do it.
Were they originally tractor motors?
No, MG built some really neat pre-war twin cam motor or single overhead cam motors.
But not tractors out the street.
They sound like them, but they're
okay.
Sounds like them.
This motor would be good to 7,000 RPM if the valves didn't bounce at 6,400. But the limiting factor is the valve springs. I didn't want stiffer springs because that puts more wear on the followers and the push rods.
Very clean.
Thank
Craig.
you.
It's nice, pristine.
So this tank then is back inside the fire?
It is. It's right under here.
Is it big?
How big? How big?
It's maybe half gallon, quarter gallon.
Okay.
Quarter gallon?
This would have been auxiliary oil tank.
Oil tank.
The original race cars had a supercharger that used oil from the sump. And then also, if you cornered hard, some oil would splash out of the breather, and so that was a means of refilling the sump during a race, so you didn't have to stop.
That's a race, yeah.
It's unused on my car. I have it plumbed for the Kai gas, the hand pump fuel, to prime the intake, but I never use it because I have a choke on the carburetor, so it's more just as a detail that's correct.
As a detail.
Do you want to go club or anything?
I don't.
Other like-minded people? I mean,
I'm in the
MG of America.
I'm in the Jaguar Club, and I've got lots of online friends that I help out.
Tucked way in there.
It doesn't have a speedometer, and so it doesn't have an odometer, and I want it to track use somehow other than just writing in my notebook. So that's the only way I can record use, and so at some point I'll correlate hours to miles, and I'll have some multiplier that I can use for that. But
Craig, how fast have you been?
65.
65.
Maybe 70, but it's terrifying on the freeway. It'll go 100 plus with the gearing it has, and I don't know when it runs out of power because I'll never go that fast. But sorry, I missed your question.
I thought you saw that too.
But I like the look, and it gives you sideways visibility, so you don't get hit by people on the freeway.
So, I'm gonna open this.
So we got 2 T-nuts here.
Ooh, beautiful.
So we've got 2 fuel pumps with their own sediment bowl filters.
Right.
These are called Hartford friction dampers. So those are the shock absorbers, and there's a pinch bolt that you can adjust the setting. So the tighter you make it, the more friction it creates and dampens the suspension. Have a fire extinguisher. So there's a nozzle here, one in the cockpit, one up front. And there's a pull handle on the rear bulkhead. So if something bad happens, I can extinguish it.
Yeah, extinguish it. All about safety, man.
Yeah,
that's good.
As safe as possible with this old technology.
Yeah. This is a signal, left and
right?
right?
Yeah, tail lights and turn signals.
Turn signals. Beautiful. And the paint, the black paint is beautiful.
Yeah, it's a Rolls-Royce color called Mason Black. I I just told them I wanted it black, and they chose a particular type.
Okay.
You can't hide anything with black paint. All the pollen and the dust and the mud, all of that shows up. This car has a what they call a Brooklyn specification exhaust system.
Exhaust. Yes, yes.
Back in the 20s and 30s, when they were racing cars at the Brooklyn's racetrack, they were creating a lot of noise and the neighbors were complaining. So the racetrack mandated a particular design of exhaust based on engine displacement. And so these silencers are modeled after that. And even the little diffusers at the back.
Right.
So it reduced the noise to some extent, enough that the neighbors were satisfied.
So if you're a passenger, sit here and the hands are put,
relax and then, this is a fiberglass insulation, so it doesn't burn you right away, but it does get hot.
Very hard.
And you don't want to dangle your elbows back or you get skinned.
Right.
There's no fenders on this car.
No fenders.
Some of the other features, this has the traditional solid front axle that you would see on most pre-war cars.
Oh yeah.
So the suspension is it's a little rougher than a modern car where it can where it has independent front suspension. And then the other part of that is these torque reaction cables. When you hit the brakes really hard on these, the springs want to wind up against the force of those wheels trying to stop. So this prevents them from winding up, and it keeps you in control. Otherwise they'll wind up, they'll release, and then they'll chatter.
Okay.
And you can really feel that when you get on the brakes. You'll hear them kind of move forward and lock in.
Yeah.
There's a supercharger in front under this cowling that's driven from a shaft on the front of the engine.
Supercharger, wow.
And then there's a large SU carburetor here that feeds the fuel and air in. And that runs up this tube up into the cylinder head.
To the cylinder head.
And then again in front we have these Hartford friction dampers.
Oh yeah, friction.
Very simple design, and you can adjust them on the spot at a race without taking everything apart.
Yes, yes. And the engine is get pretty hard, fast, or when
it's okay. The engine is from a little bit later MG that was available from 1939 to about the mid-50s. It's called an X-Peg engine.
X-Peg engine.
It has modern sort of shell bearings that you can replace. It has brand new crankshaft, forged pistons and rods, so it'll hold up to a supercharger application without braking. It'll rev to, I think, 6,400 in this car, because then at that point the valves start to bounce a little bit. So I installed a rev limiter as a safety item so that if I lost my throttle linkage, it wouldn't destroy itself.
Yeah.
But I don't think I've ever revved it up that much. I usually go to 4,500.
4,500, yeah.
There's really no need in this car to go much further than that.
That's awesome. And then this is still original.
Yeah, it's amazing how flexible these are. This was a selling point for these wheels. There was a driver at Brooklands that got in a wreck, and the steering wheel didn't kill him, and the company said, "This is a great product because it doesn't kill you in the wreck. It's meant to be springy so that when you slam against it,
when there's no airbag."
Yeah, no airbag. So that was it. So I wrapped it with this cord to give a little extra grip. Same cord that I used on the leaf springs down below.
It's beautiful.
My wife and I built the seats for it. You can't find a commercially available lightweight seat.
Lightweight,
fits this narrow of a car. So we measured our rear ends and then built the seat accordingly.
Oh, here, custom. Nice.
They're fairly soft. They're a really thick cushion, leather upholstery, and then we also did the little quilted cover there, just a place to rest your arm.
This is a
competition seat belt. Yeah, lots of surface area. We didn't want to do a shoulder belt because if you roll, you need to be able to tuck in.
I see.
Because everything from here up is going to get erased. But
so that's why
this car has a Wilson pre-selector gearbox, and that was common in the 30s for MG race cars, and some other high-end Italian French cars had them. But they said that the race car drivers and the grandmothers liked them because they were very smooth at the gear change.
Yeah, gear change. And this clutch there.
Yeah.
Over
Clutch,
there. Right,
brake,
right.
and accelerator.
And accelerator.
You have to wear small shoes because there's
Oh
not
yeah,
much room
because
in there.
not much room.
It's very tight.
Super.
This is a handbrake here.
Yeah, handbrake. Wow. Thank you so much, Craig.
Yeah, thank
I really
you.
appreciate that.
Thanks for your interest.
Yeah.
I should probably get it warm.
So I'm here with Craig, 1938 MG TA Special. Check it out! Wow, very nice, cool, Craig. All right, have a safe ride. Safe ride. Hey, thanks for watching this video, and please don't forget to subscribe. Okay, thanks for. You guys already subscribed. I really appreciate that. Woohoo! 1938 MG TA Special.
I let the clutch out too fast and I threw mud and grass all over myself. So I'm going to take off very